4.5 lengths off the pace. Around the first turn they go. Big Rascal and John Court leading the way by 3 parts of a length, now a length and a half. American Odyssey up into second with the Devil on the inside saving ground in third. Information Highway now a clear-cut fourth. Zachary Cozine loops up on the extreme outside, and behind that is Wild Dream and Praetorian now at the back of the pack. Still just 5 lengths front to back. The opening quarter in a moderate 25 seconds flat, and Big Rascal opens up here. Big Rascal starts his sprint for home early, leads it clear by 3 to American Odyssey second. That Devil on the inside third. Zachary Cozine starts to pick up the leading group now, and behind that comes Information Highway. Then it's Wild Dream second last, and Praetorian's at the back of the pack through the half mile and around the far turn. Big Rascal in front by 2.5 now. That Devil back into second to the inside. Zachary Cozine set down for the drive. American Odyssey shuffle back to fourth under plenty of pressure. Then it's Wild Dream to the top of the lane. Big Rascal turns for home in front by 2. That Devil trying to come on and bridge the gap from the inside. Zachary Cozine is next. Down to the final furlong. Big Rascal and John Court's all over him here. Big Rascal, the Devil's wearing him down late. Big Rascal half a length in front. The Devil coming with each and every stride. Big Rascal and the Devil too close to
Wow, that was a tight one. It looks like the number 2 Big Rascal held on after just John Court took this horse out way too far too fast. But Big Rascal definitely the best animal in the race today. Did the number 7 American Odyssey get up? But you're looking at the 2 chalk favorite horses, and I never like to play those. So not a lot of value in this race, but definitely more coming up as we get into the next race at Louisiana.
Okay, Joanne. In fact, the Devil here was showing around $8 before they jumped. It was $3.70 for the win for Big Rascal. Will it get up? We'll have a look at the replays as soon as we can. This is the low angle. And Tony on the inside, Big Rascal, Devil looms up on the outside.
Yeah, well, he did seem a touch impatient on Big Rascal, didn't he? He dictated terms through a moderate tempo, but all of a sudden he was quite content to slide along 2 lengths clear, 3 lengths clear of the next runner, and there didn't seem any great need for that because they were all rolling along at a moderate pace. And that may well have cost him the race if he doesn't get this photo.
Yeah, well, let's have a look where they go past the line here. It almost looked as though the one on the outside may have got there. Didn't he close fast?
Yeah, well, there's not much in it at all, is there? They just drive to the line here, head up, head down. It's obviously the bob of the head that's going to get the decision.
Tight go to the running of our third American race, which is Ellis Park Race 9. Perhaps the horse on the outside, but it's hard to say the angle from here. Joanne, have you got a thought on that close go?
Well, when I watched it live, it looked like the 2 Big Rascal hung on. The camera angle tends to favor the outside horse and can be a little deceiving. But now that I'm watching it in the replay, it almost looked like the 7 American Odyssey got up. So your guess is as good as mine, and I guess we'll wait for Luke to make the announcement on who won this very tight photo.
Okay, we're awaiting the placings to be semaphored at Ellis Park. Race number 4, Louisiana Downs, will be our next for coverage, and we'll maybe take a look at that. It's a 5 furlong, 1,000-metre, 2-year-old fillies race, this upcoming event, as we await the placings to come through from America. Now, the bracket horses, Beauty's due not going around, so Seattle Delighter, there's just one runner you've got when you take the bracket, and Lonnie Mackey is the jockey, $5.50. Salty Babe, which will start from barrier number 1 in this race. David Gilroy at $5.60. Still no result, the photo. $12 Appalachie Frost, Don Symington. $10 Scouts Princess, Fast Pay, Kirk LeBlanc, $4.80. Austin Lovelace is aboard Surprise, $13. Southern Dawn, $6.90. Special Cat, $7.60. And Navius Mist at $13 for this next race from Louisiana Downs. A maiden for 2-year-old fillies. A couple of these have had starts. Now, returning at Ellis Park, any sign of placings yet, Joanne?
I have seen nothing yet. I'm looking at the jockeys don't seem to want to dismount. John Court is staying in the saddle on the number 2, so he thinks he's won. He doesn't want to have to get off the horse and be thrown back up, but they're taking a long time. Could be a dead heat. You never know.
Oh, well, that will make for something groundbreaking on our coverage of American racing. Now, this 2-year-old race with, I suppose, the track working becomes all important, this next race from Louisiana Downs.
The workouts are the only thing that you have, basically, to get a gauge on these horses, and you're looking at a 5-furlong, 1,000-meter race. There is a long run to the turn, thank goodness, because if you had a bunch of fractious fillies running towards the turn, bumping around at tight quarters, it would not be what you want. So these are little babies, 2-year-old fillies, and this is a complete tote watch. The best gauge you can get is to look at the odds board and see what's going on that Louisiana Downs board. Who is being bet in here? The speed could be with a first-time starter. Of the couple horses in here who have run, the number 3, Appalachie Frost, with Don Symington, who's in this close photo at Ellis. Don Symington in the saddle. This horse has shown speed, 23 and 2, 46 and 4. They're still walking around here at Ellis, I see, and we don't know who has won that one. They're still saying hold all tickets and hosing the horses off. So we may be looking at a dead heat here, and everybody will be happy. Everybody will cash, except, of course, for me, whose horse was struggling home coming to the wire. But we're looking now, maybe, if we can get on the Louisiana Downs screen. We just saw the one half of the entry that's still left, the one-horse Seattle Delighter, who I'm going to pick third. This is the Seattle Slew baby. Might be bred more for turf and routes down the road. Strangely enough, this horse was training in California at Fairplex Park. So I think the horse was sold, shipped to Louisiana. You have a nice bullet, 36 workout from the gate, and the bullet, of course, means the best workout of the day at that distance, and she was the best of 13, Seattle Delighter. Still no result yet out of the Ellis Park race. So any quick comments on the Ellis race or on some of these horses running in the 7th at Louisiana?
Yeah, a couple of interesting ones on breeding. Joanne mentioned the Seattle Slew. The other one is the prized horse, number 6, Surprised, we saw a moment ago, and Prize stands in New Zealand, same place where Grosvenor stands.
He sure does.
Park.
Yeah, and as Joanne mentioned a few weeks ago, Prized has had a bit of luck with first-time runners and horses resuming, so I thought we might throw it in as the second pick, Brendan. Surprised, a filly that's had one start already at Lone Star, but she's still in the early stages of her race career, coming back a shade in distance, but she made up ground last time at Lone Star. But on top, I've got number 1, Seattle Delight. She's by Seattle Slew, well-bred horse, and Joanne mentioned that workout, so that's a bit of a leg up for us straight away.
Okay, well, there's the latest betting market. Special cats into $6.20. Fast pay $4.90. So bracket, the top one is Seattle Delighter. It was bracketed with Booty's Due. KK Jaraman was the stable. Lonnie Mecchi is aboard Seattle Delighter, and in this upcoming race, it's an odds-on elect in America, and you're getting $5.90 here, so very, very firm in America. Okay, now the placings are through. Daredevil did get it on the outside, and that was one of the riders Joanne told us to keep an eye on, Joe Judas, today, and got up in the shadows of the post. Number 1, Daredevil, from 2, Big Rascal, 4, Wild Dream, $8, $4.20. Much better value than what they offered in the States. Big Rascal, $2.10. Wild Dream, no third dividend. So 1, 2 and 4 on our third race. So we'll have interims through very, very soon. In fact, now we have them. Daredevil, $8, $4.20. $2.10 Big Rascal, no third Wild Dream. Quinella, $9.80. Trifecta, it's a ripper, $160.90. And that is official, all clear to pay on race number 3, which was from Ellis Park, the mile event. Deceptive finish it was there too. Now, as far as these couple of 2-year-olds go, Joanne, okay.
And there they go. Surprised with a sharp break. Navis Mist to the outside, and now Appalachian Frost shoots up to the 4, and she and Salty Babe have at it. Navis Mist gets away in 3rd, and now from the outside, Southern Dawn improves up into 4. Scouts Princess 5th, 6 lengths from the front. Seattle Delighter to inside in 7th, far outside. Special Cat in 8th position. After that, Surprise second last, and the last horse is now Fast Pay as they get to the 3/8 mile pole. Appalachian Frost with a head in front. Salty Babe in 2nd. Southern Dawn in hand, just like she's in another gear, goes right up to those runners, and Al Gonzalez waits on the lead. It's Appalachian Frost, and Southern Dawn could pounce to the front anytime she wants. Towards the inside, Salty Babe. After that, behind her, Navis Mist in 4th. Out of the turn and into the stretch, it's Southern Dawn. She leads by a neck. Towards the inside, Appalachian Frost. Further back, Navis Mist in 3rd, then Special Cat further back. Surprised. They come to the furlong pole, and towards the inside, Appalachian Frost has something left, and now Appalachian Frost is making Southern Dawn fight for it. Appalachian Frost will get home in front from Southern Dawn, and Surprise came back on to finish
wow.
3rd.
Number 3, Appalachian Frost, got in a duel out there on the lead with the number 2, Salty Babe, a no-chance horse, and was able to hold on here and hold off the number 7, Southern Dawn, who did not get any play on the board. But we mentioned a John Franks, Bobby Barnett horse. No good workouts. He looked like a monster. He came flying very wide, turning for home, and nearly nabbed the number 3, Appalachian. You saw who got the 3rd, the number 6, Surprised. I didn't get to see the horse in much of the race, but Keith DeSormo must be tearing up some tickets right now, because this horse came flying to be 3rd on the outside. So the actual order of finish, 3, 7, 6.
And in Australia, $3.10 Appalachian Frost, defying Southern Dawn's challenge. $1.20 to play. Southern Dawn paying $4 by Southern Halo. And Surprised, $1.70 barnstorming run out wide for 3rd position, $1.70 the place. 3, 7 and 6. Appalachian Frost, $3.10, $1.20. About 3/4 of a length the winning margin, and storming home late, the prized horse. Wasn't that impressive?
Surprised, yeah. I'd say a bit more ground, and Surprise will be winning her first race, Brendan. She was having a second start today, maybe 1,200 metres, 6 furlongs, even a bit further, eh? Price was more of a stayer.
Yeah, that was started second favourite, the winner there, and it was impressive too, Appalachian Frost. Okay, next race for coverage is the next one we'll take a look at, and it's from Ellis Park, and it's a claiming race over 1,600 metres. And here, number 2 is a scratching. So let's take you through the full field. Thanks, Tyler. Calvin Borrell has the ride. This is a claiming event, as I mentioned. $14, Remember Who You Are. $4, Mount Paradise, Tracy Herbert. A Mount Livermore horse. Divorce Proceeds, $4.50. Angela Morgan has the ride out of a no double mare. $4.50 for that. $10 Banknote. James Stewart rides, Last Start winner. $10. 13 Proper Moonshine, Imperial Will at $7.60. And we'll check over from there. Allison's Gold, which is runner number 9, $14.30, $5.20 the place. And Frank Leighton on board. Julie Cagno rides number 10, which is Here's the Deal, $16. And then Rick Moss aboard Ken Terry, $19. Rowan at $20. Before we take you back to the track, let's check interims on the previous race. And they look this way after the juvenile speedsters clash. And that's the all clear has come through too. Appalachian Frost, 310, 120. And no prizes for guessing that. Once again, Don Symington in the saddle. $4 for Southern Dawn, $1.70 for Surprised. That was on the 4th of our American races, and you watched that one from Louisiana Downs. 5th race comes up. Before we take you back to Hollywood Park, Joanne has a special guest. Tony, your thoughts on this Ellis Park race?
Ellis Park, I've come up with number 4, Mount Paradise, Brendan, by Mount Livermore. And Mount Paradise is an on-pace horse. This is the thing I like about it. I just didn't think there was a lot of speed engaged in the race. So I thought this one would be prominent. Mount Paradise actually has Louisiana Downs form of late, and here we see it turning up at Ellis Park. So I've put it up on top.
Okay, now Joanne, we know you as being a turf expert, or should I say a form expert, or as you say, a handicapping expert. You have another one right alongside you once again.
I do indeed. I think he's back by popular demand. I understand that some of your Australian viewers like that 6-to-1 shot that he gave the good reasons for and won with the last time. So I'd like to welcome back to the show Gordon Jones, and I think he's going to help us handicap this race at Ellis Park, the final one on the card. And Gordon, there's a mile race at Ellis. We know how that starts. Why don't you talk about the bias first of all?
Well, we sure do, Joanne, and it's good to be back on. I don't think we might have a 6-to-1 going this time on sort of beginner's luck like last time, but I first want to say a big hello and nice to be back on with Brendan and with Tony, both of you gentlemen, all the way across the sea, I guess about halfway around the world.
We sure are, Gordon. We had plenty of positive comments when you were on last time. Let's hope you do have another long shot winner for a good price winner.
Well, I'm going to throw a couple of prices into the second and third spots, but, you know, I think the horse you fellows were just talking about, that number 4, Mount Paradise, really looks like the nuts in here. And I'd say this, as a general rule, as a handicapper, I do not like horses who are dropping. There's usually a negative reason for it. But if you're well beaten and then you drop, it begins to make sense. And if you're well beaten while showing speed, sometimes you've run a much better race than your handler, your owner, your trainer, and maybe some of the bettors realize. And I think that's the probable scenario about the number 4 horse, Mount Paradise. I believe the last race is much better than it looks. I believe the horse had been away, probably needed it, will benefit. Excuse me, a little balmy breeze coming in here from the Pacific today, tousling the hair and maybe bronchitising the throat. But in any event, I think we might have a steal on the agenda here, as suggested already. When you draw inside, you're going to take the shortest distance, and 4 is pretty close to the inside. When you've already demonstrated in your losing sprint, chasing better horses, you have a corner on that precious commodity known as speed. There's no reason you can't just get out there, get in front easily. And Joanne, by the time you come to the far turn, the horse is probably getting very brave.
Well, you were talking about the time off on this horse, and you had a year off before that last race, and I consider that to be a pretty decent prep. The horse is the only speed in here. I love that inside draw because, of course, you can pop out of the gate and you can dictate the race. You can go into that turn while everybody in a pretty large field of 12 here, well, with one scratch, 11, half that field's going to get parked wide going out of that strange chute where they run straight out of a chute and make a left-hand turn while everybody is in the middle of the racetrack.
And isn't it wonderful? It's sort of like handicapping the race for you, that the horses on the inside take the short way, the horses in the middle, they're slightly disadvantaged. The horses on the outside, Joanne, in general, they might as well come back tomorrow.
Gordon, why don't you give us your exacta picks in here, and then we'll throw it back to Brendan and Tony to give their final selections as the horses warm up.
And we should mention that Bernard Flint and Tracy Hebert are both having a strike rate, as you say, down under, of about 25%. So that's very strong for our jockey and our trainer. The horse that I like second is the number 8, Imperial Will. Now, the horse is disadvantaged out there in the 8 a little bit, but you don't want to overwork one particular factor. At 15-to-1 on the line, and maybe a little shorter by the time they reach the gate, I felt you could throw out the race in which this horse was eased. I thought you could throw out that turf race, go back to River Downs, and so I'm going to use the number 8 as my second horse, along with some long shots, the 2, the 7, and the 10. So Joanne, I'll key the 4. The 2 is scratched, moving the 4 into the 3 hole. So I'll just key the number 4 to the 7, 8, 10, and then the old 11th commandment of American racing, thou shalt reverse.
All right, let's go to Brendan and Tony in Australia for your selections and views on this race.
Okay, interesting race. A good race, actually, to play around with trifecta betting with so many chances, and Gordon and Joanne have suggested a few already. Looking at number 4 there on screen, Mount Paradise, which does have its supporters. Remember who you are. The 3 doesn't have the best form credentials, but did look quite well. Tony, there's number 5 trotting out, which is Divorce Proceeds, out of a no double mare.
Yeah, that's right. No double again. And that's the one I've got in as second pick, Brendan. Divorce Proceeds. It's had 2 runs back from a break. And I wouldn't be too concerned about its last start effort. It was outrun at Ellis Park. I just think the horse might be better than that going on its previous efforts, and hasn't had a lot of racing. Of course, it's only been to the track on 7 occasions. So I've got it as the second pick, and Gordon's recommendation, Imperial Will, I'll make that third pick too.
Okay, there's the market movers. Mount Paradise is now into $3.10 on our TAB. I can tell you in America, far shorter, 3 to 2. $5.30 divorce proceeds, $7 for number 6 banknote, which is almost half its American quote. Other main ones in the market in America, thanks Tyler, $10 here, much shorter than that, almost half that in America. And the other one, single figure odds, is right down the bottom, number 10, which is Here's the Deal. Around 5 to 1, and it's $22.80 for the win, $3 the place in Australia. Now there's been some good value place dividends paid in Australia, Joanne and Gordon, so it does tend to play around with some value sometimes, and also for Quinella and trifecta bettors.
Well, your place prices seem to be really, really strong. And if you took my 2 horses in the first 2 races, we had seconds, and you gave out some pretty decent place prices on those. So I, again, would probably, even though this horse is a short price favorite, go win in place on the number 4 Mount Paradise, maybe throw in a couple of Gordon and Tony's horses for those second spots in here. A couple of trainers that I might quickly point out. The trainer of the number 6 banknote, Billy Ashebrainer, is a very high percentage trainer. He's 8 wins in 25 starts, 32%. The horse had an okay win, but it was a cheap maiden claiming win. Maybe one that might get a little piece of that exacta. And then on the outside, the number 12 Rowan is trained by Angel Montano, who's another very high percentage trainer. I think he was 3rd in the Ellis Park standings last year, but he's going to have a really tough time of it breaking from that 12 hole going into that turn. Gordon, any last thoughts as they come to the gate?
Well, the last thoughts, I'd probably enjoy keying just the number 4 to the 7, 8, 10. And do you call that an exacta, a Quinella, or what?
They do them both. They do them both.
Our betting, Gordon and Joanne, on these races obviously win in place, and also we take Quinellas, which are the first 2 in any order, and trifectas, 1st, 2nd and 3rd for our betting on American racing. And the pools have been developing quite strongly. Our win pool now is kicking along nicely with Mount Paradise. They're listening to you, $2.60. And Here's the Deals come into $9. Still good value, though, compared to what price you're getting there.
Well, we're looking at even money on the number 4 Mount Paradise right now, and I guess that's probably what you would expect, and that might even be value on a horse that looks like the most probable winner on today's races coming to you from America.
Joanne, I would say this horse probably has 3 chances in 5 to win, so you'd have a mild overlay on this side of the pond and a little better overlay on the other.
I think so. Again, we talk every week about how I better get one of those tab accounts open because my horses seem to be better prices there than they are here in America.
We'll have to get that arranged for you, Joanne. Tony, any last-minute thoughts as we watch them head towards the start, getting very close to start time?
No, I'll stick with the strength, Brendan. I've got number 4 Mount Paradise. He just looks well placed, and hopefully he'll be able to dictate terms for Tracy Herbert, who's on fire.
And Divorce precedes your second selection. Well, interesting race coming up. Big field, good race to play around with exotic bets. And we'll take you back for the final comments to the exotic Joanne Jones alongside Gordon.
Oh my goodness, can I live up to these exotic topics here? Anyway, the number 4 Mount Paradise seems to be everybody's ringer in here, so we'll see in about 1 minute if that proves to be true. Any final thoughts on exactas from you, Gordon?
Well, the final thing, I have a very good friend who's a very good handicapper, and Joanne, he enjoys betting horses who were eased last time because if they come back into action rather quickly, he makes the assumption the trainer has made the necessary adjustments. The being eased, taken up, and that kind of thing allows them to drop the horse into an easy spot, and so the 8 might be my long shot.
And that's Imperial Will. Probably not the worst of those post positions on the outside, but again, the inside horses are at a definite advantage at this mile out of the weird chute at Ellis Park. They're loading in the number 3. We're about to see everybody's horse, the number 4 heavy favorite Mount Paradise, go in from this aerial view here, and we can throw it out to the final race that we will see it all on this program from Ellis Park because we go to Del Mar next week. Let's throw it up to Luke Kreitbosch for the call of the final race at Ellis.
Going up. Banknote follows, then Ken Terry. And Rowan to the outside gate, 1 back. Rowan and the start from starter Jim Beck. They're all locked away, set to go.
No.
And they're off and running. Rocket start for Mount Paradise out to take the lead early, with Banknote moving up into second, then Thanks Tyler right there at the rail in third. Divorce Proceeds between horses racing in fourth. Here's the Deal moves up from fifth to the outside. Imperial Will, then Ken Terry looping up 4 or 5 wide. Gap of a couple back to Allison's Gold, then it's Rowan. 3 farther back to Remember Who You Are, and Proper Moonshine is at the tail of the field, 10 lengths off the pace through the quarter in 24 seconds flat. Up the backstretch they go. Mount Paradise and Tracy Hebert a length and a quarter clear now from Banknote, tracking off his heels in second place. And on the outside, here's the Deal edging up a closer third. Divorce Proceeds moving up in heavy traffic in fourth. Thanks Tyler racing in fifth. Ken Terry on the extreme outside is next. Imperial Will starts to gain ground now. A gap of a couple back to Rowan. He's 7 lengths off the pace. 2 farther back to Allison's Gold. And from the back of the pack is Remember Who You Are. Around the far turn, half mile in 48 seconds flat. It's still Mount Paradise trying to take him all the way in front by a length. Banknote up to put some pressure on in second. Divorce Proceeds is racing in third place now. On the inside comes Thanks Tyler. Here's the Deal, moves up 3 wide, and it's 5 farther back to Rowan. From the back of the pack comes Remember Who You Are to the top of the lane. Mount Paradise cutting the corner, turning for home in front by 2. Whip coming out in earnest now on Banknote, who's trying to close the gap, and Divorce Proceeds coming again on the inside. They're down to the final furlong now. Mount Paradise shaken up by Tracy Hebert, leads it by 2. Divorce Proceeds on the outside coming late, hitting the top gear late. Divorce Proceeds on the outside, but it's Mount Paradise, Divorce Proceeds. Baby,
oh boy, here we go with another tight photo. 2 in a row from Ellis Park. You had the number 5, Divorce Proceeds, with the very weak riding Angela Moran coming up to maybe catch an exhausted number 4, Mount Paradise, who cut out a fast pace, lengths and lengths ahead of everybody. And the number 6, Banknote, for the very strong training Billy Ashebrainer, ran third. But we're going to be sweating out another very close photo here.
What a close finish there. Another one, Tony. Divorce Proceeds lunging on the line and perhaps has got up.
Yeah, looks that way. He looked home, the favourite, didn't he? He was sailing along in front, as Joanne said, a couple of lengths ahead. Shifted gears, looked home, and then all of a sudden ran out of petrol in that last 100 metres.
Yeah. Tight go to the line, and interesting that the wind pool developed nicely near the end too, up to $3,100. TAB New South Wales. Mount Paradise in front at this stage. Tracy Hebert in front, but look at the red nose roll loom into the picture. And has it got there? Divorce Proceeds. That's just behind, just past the line, that freeze. Now this is the high angle. Joanne, do you want to talk us through your thoughts on the closing stages?
Well, we're looking at Mount Paradise, again, looking for a taxi cab, as Angela Moran coming up on the outside, all over the racetrack. Oh boy, that's so close. It's the bobbing of the noses. It could have been Moran getting there on the outside with a fresher horse, but boy, this horse ran an extra couple of lengths there, zigging and zagging. Divorce Proceeds to the wire. Gordon, who do you think it was?
Well, Joanne, sometimes your horse will be leading 1 jump in front of the wire, 1 jump after the wire, but
Not
at the wire,
the
another bob of the nose goes down. And so I think it's 50-50 either way. That was close, and the winner was not the number 4.
The 5, Divorce Proceeds, gets the nod at a whopping 17-1 over the 4, Mount Paradise, and the 6, Banknote.
Well, you wouldn't be surprised to know, Joanne, there was no value here for Divorce Proceeds. $6.10, $2.40 the place. Mount Paradise money back, and Banknote paid $3.40 for the place. So 5, 4 and 6, Angela Morgan, the winning rider. Tight finish. We'll have interim dividends as soon as they are through. 5, 4 and 6. Let's update the next race. Louisiana Downs Fillies and Mares, 1,700 metres is the distance for this upcoming event. Saltine, $7.10. Kirk LeBlanc, last start winner, $7.10. Fly Maggie, $4.80. Now, last start winner and a winner 2 runs back as well, $4.80. Bethistan, 21. Past inspection, $5.50. Majestic Cloth, 23. Austin Lovelace. Macon Calls, $2.60. Bold and Peaceful, 18.